A few years back, I was working on an FJ60. Had an inline six, replacing the head gasket, put everything back together, and I was dropping in the head bolts, and I had a bolt that I was trying to thread in the back. It was really late at night, and I had gotten pretty much everything buttoned up, and I was going to torque the head bolts, put it together. I'd be done that night. It was late, but I wanted to finish it. I didn't want to have to think about it the next day at work. So I worked, and I'm not kidding you, for an hour and a half trying to get that bolt in the back, and I could not get it to thread in there at all. And so finally, it's probably 1:30 in the morning. I finally head to the house, go to bed. This thing is really got me. The next morning I go out, drop that bolt in, it threads right there. Torque it that morning. Sometimes the easiest things are the hardest to do. And I have no idea why that bolt gave me so much trouble, but I wasn't able to do it. And in fact, I don't believe I've told that story to anybody because it just seems so ridiculous. In our devotional today, we're talking about prayer. And prayer is one of those things that, for a child of God, should be something not only that is simple to do, but it's something that we would want to do. And it proves to be sometimes the hardest thing. Now, one of the things that I read here in the devotional, and it's really somewhat convicting, but it's over in Luke 6:12, and it tells us that Jesus, he went up unto a mountain, and he continued to pray all night. Well, we know that he not only prayed all night in this instant, but we know in the Garden of Gethsemane, right before his crucifixion, he prayed as well while the others slept. And oftentimes, I don't know about you, but oftentimes like me, I can identify with those disciples. The text is in Psalms 5:3, and it says, "My voice shalt thou hear in the morning. O Lord, in the morning I will direct my prayers unto thee, and I will look up." See, the psalmist, it's as if he couldn't wait for the morning that he could start the conversation for the day with the Lord. That is so admirable. In the story that I just told you, that my mind was on that bolt. A simple distraction. That's where my mind was. I wonder what would have happened if I would have just kind of slowed down a little bit, took a break, spent some time talking to my Heavenly Father, relaxed a bit. I suspect that bolt would have dropped right in. But I fixated on that bolt, and I allowed the anxiety to overtake me, and I wasn't moving forward. If we need to talk to the Lord, now is the time to do it. Probably more than any time in history, it is probably really important to talk to the Lord about the things that are going on. We might need to pray more. I think that's obvious. We might need to think about fasting. These are the things that I think that are important. It's also mentioned here that, like Daniel, we see the psalmist here in Psalms 55:11 says, "Evening and morning and noon I will pray." When is it that we need to talk to the Lord? Well, Paul tells those in Thessalonica we need to do it without ceasing. We need to wake up in the morning with him on our minds. We need to go to bed speaking to him. Maybe it'll change the way things work out in our lives. I know it will change our hearts, it will change our lives, it will change those things we come in contact with. May God richly bless you. Thank you so much for tuning in.